Komodo dragons are the biggest and most dangerous lizards in the world. They can reach up to 3 meters in length. They are excellent hunters who have been at the top of the food chain for millions of years. However, even here in isolation from the rest of the world, conflicts between dragons and humans do happen. As a matter of fact, people came to live on the island of the Komodo dragons a mere 500 years ago. There are only a couple of villages in the area which has always belonged to the dragons. It was this coexistence of two different worlds and even epics that Olga Michi decided to reflect in her new photographs.
The strongest survives in nature, and I think that the Varanids lived without us for thousands and thousands of years, and there was no need for human interference whatsoever. Generally speaking, we need to find a consensus and learn to live in harmony with this beautiful animal.
It might sound strange, but the modern dragon is really a beautiful and mighty animal. And facing him, a modern man receives a chance to travel back in time to the age of dinosaurs. These islands are lost among the 15,000 islands of Indonesia. They are part of the Komodo National Park, which is often referred to as the Asian Jurassic Park, the lost world of the dinosaurs' descendants who left their distant motherland, Australia, 10 million years ago. Little did they know that those scraps of land would become their last resort on Earth. In order to get back to those prehistoric times, you need to first get to the island of Flores. Here on the western coast lies the busy port town of Labuan Bajo. The bay is teeming with quaint boats called pinisi in Indonesian. Olga will be traveling on one of them. She will be accompanied by Dimitri Hayato, who has worked here as a charter broker for 5 years now. He speaks the local dialect, which may come in handy, as well as the knowledge of the coastline and its inhabitants. The wild beauty of these places, untouched by civilization, become visible the next day when the sun is high and Olga's boat drops anchor by the Rinca Islands, which is avoided by many. There are around 3,000 monitor lizards, which exceeds even the number on Komodo Island.
What is the density of the population on Rinca Island?
Opinions differ, taking into account the overall area of the island. I guess it should be around 3 to 4 animals per square meter, but they live in small groups. That makes things easier. One of these groups lives in the bay where Olga and Dimitri are planning to disembark. A ranger is waiting for them there. He'll be accompanying them around this crocodile island. That's how the name of the bay, Lo Bua, is translated from Indonesian. An inconspicuous sign marks the quay. Beware the crocodiles. After the accident with a tourist, the conditions for the stay of foreigners in the national park became more stringent, primarily because of the attacks of dragons, which feel too much at home here, to put it mildly.
Look here. There's so many of them.
There are many more. Our summer kitchen is here, and the dragons are attracted by the smell. They can sense the smell of meat kilometers away with their tongue, forked like that of a snake.
Is that how they sense the aroma of the food?
Yes, you can say so. They taste and feel the air. I'm sorry for interrupting you. There is a buffalo carcass by the spring, and a few dragons. It looks like it was killed a couple of days ago.
Wow, that's a lucky strike. Can we go there?
Okay. Thank you.
It is rare luck to be able to witness such a feast. We have not a minute to waste. Dragons eat in big groups, So in half an hour, the feast is likely to be over.
It looks like this handsome thing is from there. Look at his side.
Yes, he's definitely coming from that spring. Look at his bulging stomach. Ah, be careful. As we approach the spring, the dragons increase in number. Those who are older are coming back from the feast. The younger ones are racing one another. But the fastest are the 1 meter long baby dragons whom the older ones can't keep up with.
I'll go and try and take a photo of the dragon.
At this moment, Olga becomes a chance witness to a young dragon's hunt for the megapod's eggs. Hiding a few meters away from the bird's burrow, it watches every moment of those large-footed birds. The moment they turn in his direction, the crafty creature pretends to be sleeping, pressing its body to the ground.
Out in the wild nature, it often takes a long time to take a photo. At times, you can spend hours hiding in order to take a single good photo. A very good photo when the subjects that one's capturing are very close.
It's impossible to understand what's going on in the mind of this menacing poker-faced reptile with non-blinking eyes. All because this creature does not belong either to this place or to this time. It is a prehistoric species devoid of emotions or feelings. And yet, it is still alive, though it may look a bit outdated. This is exactly the way it looks in one of the photographs taken by Olga Michi, almost point blank, half a meter away from the predator always ready to strike. These are the eyes of a real dragon, cold-blooded and dispassionate, like the rest of the prehistoric world. Olga manages to plunge into this prehistoric environment at the site of the dragon's feast. These are the remains of the carcass of the Asian buffalo. It doesn't look particularly appealing, and it smells even worse.
Oh, what a horrible smell. Most delicious. Tomorrow will be even more delicious. Today it's not ready yet.
But the young dragon seems to enjoy it. When else would I have a chance to enjoy such a feast and share it only with a company of flies?
Look how many flies there are, how they swarm. See, it is trying to get inside the bowels to find the softest meat there. Since they don't have teeth like other predators, they can only break off parts of the carcass. That's why it's trying to find the softest parts. There you go. It just tore off a big chunk.
This youngster is about 5 years old. In another 5 years, it will reach the size of its relatives. So far, it's an ordinary lizard, but poisonous.
It's swimming in our direction.
A dragon is dangerous not simply because it may bite you, but also because of the cadaver which accumulates in the reptile's mouth. The water in which the carcass is decomposing contains the same poison. Olga learned that quite accidentally 2 years ago during her trip to the island of Flores, where she had a rather unpleasant encounter with dragons.
Give me that antibacterial thing. How dangerous is it?
We need to go to the hospital. It can lead to blood poisoning. Well, they say the leg can fall off if it's not washed off.
They say it's dangerous.
However, Olga continues her work. which means that everything went well. Furthermore, Olga has returned to the Komodo Park. Fully aware of the fact that every island is different, and so is every dragon. The first are beggars who rarely fight for a place under the summer kitchen of the park guardians. The second are brazen hooligans always sniffing out with their snake-like tongue something they can steal from humans. The third are lonely old hunters who keep the traditions of the Varanus komodoensis. And the fourth group is made up of youngsters who dream of getting rid of the elders, which, as it turns out, enjoy cannibalism. Olga once managed to witness and photograph one of these disgusting feasts a few kilometers away from the ranger station. Here, under the old acacia tree, 5 hungry cannibal dragons were devouring their relative's carcass. An appalling and at the same time mesmerizing spectacle, reminiscent of the battles of prehistoric giant dinosaurs, the ancestors of the Komodo dragons.
Prior to this, when I took photos of the Varanids, I did not feel like they were dangerous at all. I felt like that I could approach them, and even if they bit me, I could just go to a hospital, and that would be it. But now I understand that one shouldn't take chances with these creatures, and that a distance should be maintained.
To tell the truth, the area around the ranger station cannot fairly be referred to as a Jurassic Park, as local dinosaurs have long got used to coexisting with human beings, and human beings have got used to living with dinosaurs. However, if you go to Padar or Nusa Kode, those islands are really uninhabited. They are located to the west of Rinca, where the last wild Komodo dragons find shelter in the shade of the hills, colored brown and black by the setting sun. It is the land of unexplored dragon paths and shores, where nobody has ever approached these creatures with a camera in his hand. But that's a story for another time.